God is the
God
Big
is the
Bang,
Big
nine
Bang,
summary
bang,
and
bang. He spoke
conclusion.
everything into existence. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The beginning is time, the heaven is space, and the earth is matter. Time, space, and matter must all coexist at the same time. I like to love God and study God on all different levels, to the cosmological levels, to the teleological level, to the historical levels with the chronological Bibles, and of course the faithful and spiritual level with all the Bibles.
Let's get that knowledge. A shout out to Frank Turk and Geisler. Summary and conclusion. As we have seen, many religious truth claims can be investigated and their plausibility determined. Since all conclusions about such claims are based on probability rather than absolute certainty, they all, including atheistic claims, require some amount of faith. As we look at the evidence in the ensuing chapters, we'll see that the conclusions such as God exists and the Bible is true are certain beyond a reasonable doubt. And therefore, it takes a lot more faith to be a non-Christian than it does to be a Christian. However, we have also acknowledged that evidence alone cannot convince someone to be a Christian. Some atheists and non-Christians may reject Christianity, not because the evidence is inaccurate or wrong, but because they don't want to accept it. Some people choose to suppress the truth rather than live by it. In fact, we humans have a fatal tendency to try to adjust the truth to fit our desires, rather than adjusting our desires to fit the truth. But wait, isn't there a third alternative? Like, what about remaining agnostic like the Old Testament professor at the beginning of this? He said he didn't know if God exists. Some may think that such a person is open-minded. Perhaps, but there's a big difference between being open-minded and being empty-minded. In light of the evidence, we think agnosticism is a decision to be empty-minded. After all, isn't the reason we should be open-minded so that we can recognize truth when we see it? Yes. So what are we to do when there's enough evidence to point us at the truth? For example, what should we do when we see evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that George Washington was the first president of the United States? Should we remain open-minded as to who was the first president was? No. That we should be empty-minded? Some questions are closed as well. See, there's enough evidence regarding Christianity to draw a reasonable certainty and conclusion. We should observe our conclusions about God's impact every area of our lives. It is the key to finding unity and diversity and ultimate meaning in life. It is literally the most important question for every human being to address. Fortunately, if our reasoning is correct, we will discover the box tops of life's puzzle at the end of our journey. So let's take another step on that journey and let's begin the question of the truth.